Are you looking for a ultra quiet hazer packed into a touring flight case? Jerry back with that Theatrically Jerry, and today we are going to be reviewing MOKA SFX MK F23. This is their 1200-watt hazer. It's their newest and latest out of their factory. Included with purchase is obviously your user manual. You are also getting a fairly decent 3-pin DMX cable. This is for data. It runs in at a little over 6 feet, so it's definitely long, and they didn't skimp on that, so loved seeing that. You are also getting a Seetronic True1. So this is a True1 connector, not a PowerCon. It's definitely different, and we're going to look at that later on in the review, but you do get a fairly decent Seetronic power cable with this hazer. One last thing that you are also getting is a RF remote. Loved seeing that. So this isn't infrared, this is RF. It's going to travel very long distances, and that's definitely a good thing. And we're going to look over this remote later on in the review as well, but it's a fairly decent remote, pretty common. I've seen this exact remote on other units that I own, and they do work fairly well if you're not interested in controlling this with a DMX console. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features of this hazer. It measures in at 18.8 inches wide by 16.5 inches deep, that's going this way, and 9.8 inches tall, that's obviously without this lid stacked on top here. This compact flight case weighs in at 40.7 pounds, so definitely not lightweight. It definitely feels professional and ready for touring, so I loved feeling that heft. This weight is due to its robust flight case construction, featuring mostly wood as well as metal here. So we have some composite wood and also metal as well as some plastic. The front of this atmospheric features a blue LCD display, as you can see here, with 4 soft buttons underneath. They do have a nice audible click to them. We have our menu, our up, down, and enter buttons. This is for navigating the user interface, and we will look at that later on in the review as well. Below the screen are both 3 and 5-pin DMX in and out, and this is for daisy chaining data. I was happy to see that they included both. This also makes it feel more professional. So you are going to have the option of using either a 3-pin or a 5-pin for your DMX in and out. To the left here, we have our Seetronic True1. This is for supplying power to this unit. Just keep in mind that you can't daisy chain power with this, so it's going to be limited to just powering this hazer. Above it here we have a really cool breaker. This is an inline 8 amp. So if this does blow, this is just a simple on and off or reset switch for the fuse. So that also makes this feel a lot more professional. Further over to the left here, we have our 1.3 gallon Haze solution tank. It has this cutout where the tank sits perfectly, as well as this super cool latch here, and this is a spring latch that holds the bottle inside. So if you go ahead and release this, you can actually bring this metal gate down here to pull the entire fog solution tank out of its cutout. So I loved seeing that. And this gate also serves as holding this during transportation. So glad to see that. It's super easy to engage and disengage. And we're just going to go ahead and re-engage it there. MOKA has also included a quick release for the Haze solution tube here. So if I press this little latch here, I can quickly release our tube, and then to re-engage, you just stick it back on there, and it'll make a nice audible click, meaning that it's in. This tank here also has a tight screw-on lid, and the lid feels really great, and they have textured the sides of it here, so it's super easy to grab, and also super easy to take off when you're filling up your tank with solution. You are also getting a traditional filter that's attached to the tube here. The filter is metal, and it allows filtering, obviously, of the haze solution, so you're not going to get particles coming into your chamber here. So love seeing that as well. You're also going to notice right here something a little weird, and that is a air filter. And basically what it does is it allows the machine to know when the haze solution has run low, there will be a pressure drop, and it's going to shut the machine off for you. So I love seeing that on this particular Hazer as well. To the extreme right here is the Haze Machine's outlet. This outlet has a variable angle for directing the haze up to 45 degrees. So this is fairly typical for a haze machine, and you can just pull this up or down depending on what angle you want your haze to come out at. If you look inside, you can also see the fan grate here. I'm not sure if you can visibly see it. Let me go ahead and make this a little brighter so we can get a better idea of what we're looking at here. All right, that's pretty good. So right here is our airflow grate that is built in, and basically it is in front of the squirrel cage fan that's included with this machine. And then also right down in here is a sponge that's built in. You can't remove it. I thought you could, but you can actually see the little gray strip of it. And what that sponge is doing is it's going to collect some of the haze solution that may exit out of this heater nozzle right here. So I loved seeing that as well, because there is a lot of haze machines where they'll be working and you'll have the pump set to 100%, and you're going to be pushing a lot of fluid through, and the heater is not going to keep up with it, and you are going to get some spitting of your fluid. And in this case, it's just going to collect right here in this absorbable sponge. So I loved seeing that they included that as well. And obviously, as I just stated, this is your heater nozzle. This is where the haze solution is going to exit, heat it up to create haze, and it's going to blend in with the airflow here and create a nice thick haze for your show. And we're going to take a look at that later on in the review, how this outputs haze, etc. But for right now, we're just going to go over the machine's components, and we're going to go ahead and look at a few more of the design elements that MOKA SFX has included with this Hazer before we power it on. To the right of the machine, and this is if you're looking directly at it from the front, we have our squirrel cage's dust filter here. So the squirrel cage fan has this built-in dust filter that filters out particles in the air so they're not blowing out of this front part here. It also is super easy to remove for cleaning. There's just 4 Phillips head screws, as you can see, and then this protective metal grate here will pull off, and this black sponge will come out for you to clean. The top here features 2 recessed handles. Love seeing that. They are spring loaded, so they will just simply snap right back into place when you're done. We also have 4 hex bolts here that can be removed. This is for attaching the included C-clamps for your truss. So you can, in fact, hang this from a truss if you desire to. I love seeing that. We also have these really nice metal sides here that protect the Hazer during transit, as well as some oversized ball corners here, and they are basically just acting like bumpers. So if anything bumps into the side of this, it's going to hit this ball here instead of the actual machine. They also have included a really nice laminate here that laminates over the wood, and it is textured. Feels really great. Looks very modern. I'm going to go ahead and move my light so you can see it a little better. There's our nice texture right here. Everything looks great. Even the pop riveting is tight. We don't have any loose ones. They definitely pay attention to detail when assembling these machines, so great job on that. Something else that I loved seeing included with this machine is the oversized rubber feet here on the bottom, so this case isn't going to touch the ground and get scratched up. These rubber feet are actually used for sound dampening as well, so I love seeing that they have tried to make this machine as quiet as possible. And we're going to do a sound test later on in the review, but these are just some of the details that I notice that are included with this machine that make it worth purchasing. One last thing I wanted to show you guys is the lid that goes on the top of this. It's also very nice looking. We have a recessed handle with a spring in it here. We also have the same design language, so we have our bumpers on the side here, as well as the textured laminate over the wood. I'm going to flip this around. We also have a rather thick foam padding that's also textured. This is going to help protect the equipment during transport, so loved seeing that as well. To attach this lid, you simply use these butterfly locks, which are fairly standard for flight cases, so nothing too crazy there. They've also given you holes here to attach padlocks if you want to lock your equipment. But yeah, otherwise fairly decent build quality. They've definitely gone above and beyond in terms of using quality components on this machine. So love seeing that. We have our nice large lid here that attaches right to the front, so it is ready to go when you're touring. All right, so let's go ahead and power this on so we can take a look at the built-in user navigation and menu system. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in this Seetronic True1. It's kind of hard to plug it in because it has some O-rings on it. And there we go, it's plugged in. Let's go ahead and take a look at the built-in navigation system. So as you can see, when you start it up, it is going to do a warm-up, and it's going to give you a count of how long it's taken to warm up so far. It also is going to display your temp. We do have the ability to change the language. We have English or Chinese. I'm going to select Chinese. And this does take about 3 minutes to warm up, so we are waiting on the warm up. So while we're waiting, let's go ahead and see what they have for menus. We have our DMX set. We can set our DMX address anywhere from 001 to 512. I'm going to leave it at 1. We do have our work menu, and when you hit enter, you can select its work time. You can also select its stop time, and these are in seconds, so we have stop at 150. And as you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit. We are starting to get some haze coming out of here. That means that it's very close to being at temperature, and there goes our haze. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so you can kind of see how nice the haze is coming out of the front element here. And now it's stopped because I have set a stop time for it. You can do remote here, and you can select the remote's number as 1 or 0, and that is for our RF remote. So that sets it to a frequency or hertz that's not going to interact with other remotes. So I love seeing that as well. We have our work time again. The work time means how long do you want this to turn on and start working. So again, these are in seconds, and you can select anywhere from 0 to 999. We also have our stop time. So as you notice, when I hit enter for the stop time, the machine starts working. I'm going to set the stop time at 1, 2. And then if we go to manual and you hit enter, you're going to be able to select your volume. That's how much haze you want coming out of this machine. And I'm going to go ahead and set it to a little less on the volume. And as you can see here, we also have an active temperature sensor that is keeping the temperature at optimal temp for haze. So there are a lot of smart things built into this machine, which I love seeing. I do believe when we do manual that you are, oh, here we go, fan. Okay, so you can in fact set your fan speed under manual. I'm going to lower it. And you're going to hear how quiet the fan is at its lowest. And this is how loud the fan is at its highest. And at its highest speed, it's actually doing a really great job of blowing air out. So I'm going to go ahead and lower this back down. So that's for our fan. We have volume and fan under manual. So if you hold down the menu button, the Haze machine is going to start working. Okay, so for this running under 1 minute, it has hazed my entire studio in a nice, thick, even fog here, or haze. The haze actually looks really great. We're not getting the clumpy look that you get with cheaper haze machines, and this room is about 17 feet long, and it's also 15 feet wide. So in a 17 by 15 room, this haze machine is going to haze out your entire venue. So as you can see here, visibility is very poor right now. This has hazed the entire room. So really great job on that. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like when we bring it out to the studio garage. And I'm going to bring some lights with me so we can really see their beams as well as how nice the haze looks. So let's go ahead and bring it out to our studio garage and see just how well this performs in a much larger space. Alright, so something I want to do is a quick sound test. Right now, the Haze machine is at idle, and we are about 2 feet away. The fan is running right now. It's not running at max speed, but we do have a nice little breeze coming out of here. Let's listen to how loud it is at idle here. And as you can hear, not very loud. Of course, the pump isn't running, but it's not a super loud system here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our fan here. So I'm going to go into manual, and we're going to go to our fan. And the fan's always the loudest culprit on a haze machine. Let's bump this up to max speed just to hear how loud it is. You're generally not going to run this fan at max speed anywhere, unless you really quickly want to haze something. But so here's the fan at max speed. Is it audible? Yes. Is it loud? I personally wouldn't consider it loud, especially compared to a lot of the other budget haze machines I've reviewed. So fan's not super loud. Again, you're not going to run it ever at 100. I mean, unless you're wanting to haze a very large area in a super quick amount of time. So generally speaking, we'll probably have this fan running at around 50%. So here's 50% sound. You're not going to hear this haze machine operating. Let's hear how loud it is when it is running. So I'm going to go back over to manual, and we're going to hold down menu, and we're going to hear how loud it is when it's operating with the haze solution pump. So let's go over here to manual. So this is it running and operating how you would expect it to. Again, we do have the external mic removed, so we can get a better idea of how loud it is. You can kind of hear the pump chugging along here. Let's go ahead and get a better look at the haze coming out. I also wanted to introduce you guys to Froggys Fog Beam Splitter. This is made in the USA. This is my go-to for all of my events. This is a water-based haze fluid, which this machine takes. This machine does not take oil-based, so do not put oil-based in it. You're going to want something that's super clean, that's not going to gum this machine up, which is going to be hard to do since it self-cleans its internals, but Froggys Fog Beam Splitter is my go-to #1. Never had a problem with them. This particular solution is extremely long-lasting. My studio is still hazed up from our demo we just did, and that was about 10 minutes ago. So yes to extremely long lasting with this beam splitter. It is a very high density formula and it is incredibly efficient. So if you're looking for something that's going to stick around for a long time, definitely grab the beam splitter from Froggys Fog. There are, of course, different versions of this solution, especially for people that want a quick dissipating haze. That is something you would definitely be using in a theater when you want the haze to go away after a certain scene. You're not going to want it to stick around. In case of extremely long lasting, definitely for concerts and events where you're wanting to haze your entire studio with haze, or your stage, you're going to definitely want extremely long lasting. So definitely pick up one of these. I will put a link in the description down below. Again, this is my go-to and what I trust in all of my haze machines. The MK F23 is capable of outputting 1,500 cubic feet a minute of fine haze. It consumes a remarkable 0.132 gallons per hour. Because of its efficient pump, it can run for a total of about 10 hours straight on one full fluid container. I want to go ahead and show you guys just how much haze this machine is pumped out in under a minute in my studio. So I'm going to go ahead and pan over here. I'm going to bring a studio light with me. So this is my inside studio, and as you can see, you can't even see my back wall right now. It has pretty much hazed up my entire studio in under a minute. So I consider that to be pretty excellent. I'm going to say, I was going to say good, but no, excellent for a haze machine. This is going to be great for your venues. MOKA has also included this really nice RF remote, and you're going to be able to turn the haze machine on and off with this remote. You have a telescoping antenna that's actually rather long, so you're going to get some really great distance with this if you're not using DMX. So love seeing that they included this. They did not include a battery. It does take a 23A style battery, which is a 12 volt. They're super easy and common to find and super cheap. Definitely get one on Amazon. But this remote's really nice, and again, super long range with this. You're going to be able to operate this haze machine clear across your dance floor with this remote control. So loved seeing that they included a RF instead of an infrared. So we're going to go ahead and test out this haze machine here. I am in my studio garage. I do have one of my all-time favorite DJ lights over here on the left. I want to show you guys just how important it is to have haze, especially when dealing with lighting. So right now, there's no haze, obviously. The light looks really cool, but it's rather flat. It's rather boring. Let's go ahead and see how quickly this haze machine can haze my 20 by 30 foot garage. So this is a rather large studio garage. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on and we're gonna see what difference it makes. All right, so I have the Hazer turned on, as you can see. I have the output set to 65, so the pump is at 65. And then our fan is at 50%. So let's see just how quickly this is going to haze up this studio. I also have it working. It's gonna turn on for 1 minute and then it's gonna turn off for 2 minutes. So this is gonna be 1 minute worth of haze in this 20 by 30 garage. Okay, so now it's going to turn off for 2 minutes. That was 1 minute worth of haze just now. All right, so now the Haze machine has turned back on. It's gonna run for another minute. And I'm just simply using manual mode on this machine, so it is set how I want it for the look I want. So that's also important. But as you can see over here, we are getting some really nice thick haze coming out, which is always good to see. And over here, our beams are starting to look even tighter, sharper, and brighter looking. And in a minute, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this camera around so we can actually see the entire studio garage. So 20 by 30 feet. This is a rather large area. And we're gonna see just how much haze it has put out in the 2 minutes that it has ran. So in the 2 minutes that it has ran, my entire studio garage is completely hazed out. As you can see, the beams are hitting the wall here about 30 feet away. I'm also using one of my super cool flashlights that I found on Temu, and this thing is amazing. I'm probably going to do a review on it later on, but we can always use flashlights in our industry, especially since we're working in the dark. But as you can see, we have a lot of haze, and that's just from 2 minutes of this machine running. So that is pretty efficient for a haze machine. So I kind of wanted to give you guys a better view of the haze exiting the machine. So after its timeout, it's going to start up again, which, if you recall, I set a timeout of 2 minutes and I told it to run for 1 minute. So we're going to wait for it to kick back on, and we're going to take a look at the haze exiting the machine here. So as you can see, it has started back up. It's a rather quiet haze machine, by the way. My external mic's about 6 inches away from this machine right now. But look at this output. It easily shoots haze out. Very far. Look at this. So we're talking probably 15 feet away from the machine, and that is with the fan set at 50 out of 100. And the pump's only set at 65, so this thing could theoretically pump out way more haze. So this is going to cover a lot of different events and venues. If you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about this Haze machine, leave them down below. I do respond to them as quickly as possible. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel at Theatrically Jerry. It does help me to purchase more things to review for you guys, so you have a better idea of what you're getting into when you're dropping your cash. So again, subscribe, and if you haven't already, give this a thumbs up, like the video, comment. Thank you guys for watching at Theatrically Jerry.